Considering doing the TruAge diagnostic. It's called Diagnostic, the epigenetic company. Reveal your true age, TruAge. If you are interested in this company and thinking about paying I think it was $500 that I paid to do this, why don't you go ahead and listen to this video, because I'm going to share with you my experience with it, what I think about it, if I'm going to do it again, and my results. So, hi, I am Rebecca. I am a busy mom on a health journey to become metabolically healthy. And so if you're interested in losing weight and kind of building muscle, making your brain work better, having more energy, this is the right place for you. I hope you will subscribe. So today's topic is all about Diagnostic and the test that they offer. It's a blood test, and then it's going to tell you your actual age, your biological age, not your chronological age. So your chronological age is how many years you've lived on the planet. Right now, I have been here for 42 years, though I wasn't 42 when I took this, so I'll tell you about that in a second. So currently I'm 42 years, and I'm actually fixing to take this test again and see if things have changed since the last time and if I've gotten any biologically younger. So how old I am on the inside, that's your biological age. So I actually did this in March, April of 2023. Right now it's early 2025. So I'm trying to get ready to do it again 2 years later. So I thought what I'd do is share with you my experience, my honest review, and my results from it. And then I'll do it again, and that way then you'll be able to see what has changed. So I printed out, this is each thing that you can print out is numbered differently. So I don't know how many pages I have here, but it is quite a lot of information that they provide to you in a report. So you go ahead on the website. And again, I did this a while ago. I'm pretty sure it was $500, and you pay, and then they send you a kit. The kit comes, and it took a while to get the kit, I remember. I got the kit, and then you prick your finger, and you have to like squeeze your blood onto this little paper card thing. So I had my husband help me with that, and you squeeze everything out. And then you get it all, they give you the actual directions about, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want it spilling out all over the place. You want it to be fully covered, though, so that they can have enough blood to do what they need to do with it. Package it all back up and send that sucker in. And then I do believe it took like 4 to 6 weeks for the results to come, something like that. So it did take quite some time, from initial paying for it to submitting the sample to getting your results back. So, you have to kind of be invested in it. I do think it was worth it. Again, I'll tell you if I plan to do it again at the end, but I'm just going to go through everything with you. The one thing I did like is that after you're done with it and you can print all this stuff out, then they actually have someone that you can schedule a time with that will go over the results with you. If you are someone that needs that might be helpful for you. I feel like she basically just kind of went over everything, but did not really give me any additional insights or any information that wasn't here. It was more about reading it through with you, pointing out some things and kind of explaining it. But had you read it, you would have understood it. But if you didn't understand it, she would have helped you. So I felt like it wasn't super happy for me. Like it wasn't super helpful. But it is nice that they offer it. So if you feel like you need a little extra attention, a little bit more hand holding in order to understand the results that you paid for and invested in, then that I do feel like would be helpful for you. I also think that she has like her own coaching thing, and so then she's kind of using this as like a lead generation, so that the people that talk with her about the results, now she can kind of like put you over here, and then you could be a client of hers, which I was not interested in doing. And she didn't like push it on me or anything, but I do think that that's kind of why that happens. So whatever. So basically, like one of the very first pages that they give you is your epigenetic age. So it's telling you what your intrinsic age is. And so at that time, this was 2 years ago, so I was chronologically 40.31. That's how many years on the planet I was here for. But my intrinsic age inside was 40.74. So I was actually a little bit older on the inside than I actually was on the planet. And this was when I really just kind of started getting into things. I had started seeing a functional medicine doctor in late 2022. Before that, I was really just like learning about things. I mean, I was exercising and doing those kinds of things, but in terms of like taking supplements, fasting, like doing things that were really going to impact my health, other than just basic working out, that didn't really start happening until the end of 2022 and around this time. So I think that was a good baseline. Now I did, I kind of was like, oh, I wish I had taken this test maybe a year earlier before I really started anything at all, so that I would have had a true baseline, but I feel like this is a good enough baseline. So, she just talked me through all of this. I won't kind of bore you with it, but basically it was telling me that I was a little bit older on the inside than I should have been on the outside. And then it kind of goes through a lot of explanation. It talks to you about how you compare with other people. And then it also kind of gives you some information for treatment and a framework. Now, these are not very specific things. These are very general things. It does talk about you, like in the information that you provide to them, but it's kind of like, I don't really feel like I got a lot of you should do these things, but I did get a lot of this is where you are and this is why. And so I thought that was good. It talks about the clock, the chronological clock, the biological clock, how does your blood work, your immune system and your immune age. So I thought that was really interesting. And then it did give you another age, which was your immune system age. And my immune system age was actually 30.26. So even though I was actually 40, my immune system was 30. And so that was a really good thing. So again, I don't know exactly what's the difference between the immune system age and the other epigenetic age, but I had a difference. In one, I was older, and in another one, I was younger. So I thought that was interesting, and I'm curious to see now that I've been doing more protocols and doing more interventions, am I now younger on both of them? That's what I would like to see if I did this again. So it does kind of give you through a lot of information about your blood work. It talks about cholesterol and things. It kind of gives you some blood work information, like if you didn't know what your glucose was and stuff like that. So that's good. It's just a lot of explaining. So they do give you a lot of good information. And then they get into the pace of aging. And if you have watched Brian Johnson or any of his like trying to live forever, don't die things, which, I don't agree with everything that he's doing, but I do find it interesting that he's doing it. And I have been paying attention to his content. I think it's, not reachable for me. I'm not going to spend $2 million a year to measure myself, but I think a lot of the interventions that he does are very interesting. And the idea that he is really paying attention to the rate at which he is aging and continuing to make that rate of aging less and less is interesting. And this is where like Peter Diamandis talks about, what is it called? Is something escape velocity, and how longevity escape velocity, like, so at some point you will, if you can keep yourself young enough and you can live long enough, you will get to the point where all of the breakthroughs will happen to where you can take advantage of all of those breakthroughs, which is a goal of mine. So in this part of the report, it talks about how you can age at the rate at which aging takes place. Like every 365 days, I get 1 year older in chronological age. But if you are aging at a rate that is less than that, that means that you're younger on the inside than you are on the outside. So if I am 42 now, but I'm aging at a rate that is, mine says 0.6, where is the exact? It's like on a little dial here. So it was like 0.6. Where does it actually say the number? I think it just says less than, oh, here, 0.89. So that's on this page here. So my pace value is 0.89. So for every year I age in chronological real life, the inside of my body, because of all the things that I'm doing, is not aging a full year. It's aging less than a year, 0.89 a year. So I thought that's interesting, because that means that the longer that keeps going, the younger I'll be on the inside, the older I'll be on the outside. And someone could have a rate of aging that is over. So like it goes from 0.6 to 1.4. So I'm over here, but you could be over here where you're doing so many bad things in your life and to your health that you're actually aging on the inside faster than you are on the outside. So again, it goes into a lot more detail, which should you get this, you know, it would have all of this. And again, this is not sponsored in any way. This is just me kind of sharing some of the health interventions and tests and measurements that I've done, documenting it for myself here on the channel and sharing it with you so you can determine, like, is this something that is worth it for you? I think there are a lot of products, subscriptions, tests, things out there that are redundant as well as not that helpful. So I think doing things where, you know, it can all add up doing this. And so if you're going to put your money on something, I think it's good to kind of really know what you're getting into. So again, this is tons and tons of information. I had read through all of this. I don't remember a lot of it now, but they give you all of the back explanation of like, how do they come to this and what's going on with your DNA and what's going on with all of it. Now, one of the things that I do want to look into more further that I didn't at the time, but now I would like to, is your epigenetic methylation data. So this is how your body is aging, not the rate at the aging, not the age that you are, but like what your genes are saying about it. And again, I don't know all of the particulars. I should probably recap reading all of this. But what I want to show you is, so it literally gives you, hold on, I'll show you how many pages. This is 5 through 17, so 12 pages, all of this, and it is the exact gene and what your value is. Now, is anybody telling me what, you know, this gene PSMC6, what gene is that? What does that mean? And my value is 0.07. What the hell does that mean? I have no idea. So like, this is basically useless to me. However, in here lies so much great information about my actual biology. I mean, I paid for this test, $500, but I don't know how to decode any of this. So like, maybe now, because again, it's been 2 years, maybe they have changed it in a way where someone reviews this with you, or maybe there's the AI that will go through this and then tell you stuff, because I would like to know what's in here. Like, what does this mean in reality for me? You know, what genes do I have? What genes don't I have? What genes are all screwed up and which ones aren't? I mean, none of this has words. Like, it's all just codes and like numbers. So that's my big critique, is like, this is very valuable information. They basically like decoded my genes, my DNA. It's right here, but I don't know what to do with it. So that's unfortunate. The other thing that I thought was great is it talks about your telomere length. And so if you are into longevity, you will know that the shorter your telomeres, now I'm going to forget. Is it telomere length? Yeah. So shorter telomeres are bad. Longer telomeres are good. And so I thought so, but I was getting confused. So my telomere length is 7.47 kb, which is however they measure it. And it says at your At your chronological age of 40.31, you would be in the 91st.15 percentile of telomere length compared to others of your same chronological age. This means that your telomeres are longer than 91.15% of people your age. So, I'm never in the 90th percentile of anything except for when I used to take standardized tests and in high school and stuff like that because I was a smart kid. And so I would get 90s, right? 90th percentile. But when it comes to anything physical, I am never in the 90th percentile of anything. So just as a person who's like a high achiever and wants the gold star, I was super happy to see this because I'm like, yay, at least something's good. So it says that my estimated telomere age is that of a 29-year-old, 29.33 to be exact. And so if they were just going to use telomere length to predict your biological age, at actually 40, it would have been 29, which is awesome, which is even better than the immune system score of 30, by a little bit. And a lot better than the biological age, which they said was 40, a little bit older than the actual 40 that I was. So again, now having gone through another 2 years of all the interventions that I do, and they have changed over time, I'm really kind of curious to see what changes have occurred. So that's the telomere length part, which I thought was very good because that really does touch on the longevity part of it. So the other two are kind of telling you like what's going on with you right now, what's the current state of your body. But the telomere length is kind of saying like, that's a good indication that you will live longer. And then it says your epitype. So this is CPG loci report, which I can't remember. So it says, based on your methylation, you are an intermediate responder for weight loss interventions using caloric restriction. And so it goes through different things about weight loss. And so I thought that that was kind of like meh, because it shows you your scores. It says, are you hypermethylated or hypomethylated? And because some were hyper and some were hypo, I was in the middle. And so this could work for you or this might not work for you. So they give you a bunch of interesting things to talk about as far as your cholesterol, your weight loss, and all of that. But it didn't really give me that much information because it says CPG loci around your PON3 gene are in the normal range. Using caloric deficit for diet and weight loss may work, but it may not be as successful as other therapies. It's like, meh. Like, I hate when those things happen. It's just like, nah. So it did give some other information about weight loss. So do I think it was worth it? Yes, I do think it was worth it. Like I said, I wish I had done it a little bit earlier so that I could have gotten more of a baseline when I had come off what I would consider, standard everything. Like when I found out that, I had my son, was done breastfeeding, I was figuring out how to be a stay-at-home mom, and then I started getting interested in health because I wanted to lose weight. And it was like, I would be home, the baby would be napping, I would make myself an entire box of macaroni and cheese. Like I was not working out, I was eating carbs, I was eating processed food. The decade before that, knowing what I know now, I was not in good health because I was working all the time, sacrificing sleep, not eating well, not exercising, all the things you could possibly do wrong. So I wish I had the baseline then to be like, you were 50 on the inside, even though you were 38 on the outside. I would have loved that data because it would have been very validating and very reassuring to know that the small interventions that you do make really have an impact. Because at the time I took this, I had already started intermittent fasting. I had already started being gluten-free. I had already started to see the functional medicine doctor. Like I had started. So even though it's 2 years ago and I'm 2 years into my journey even more, this is still a representation of I had done some things. So it's not a full, 180. Would I do it again? Yes. And I'm fixing to do it again. I was going to hold it till the end and then I kind of let the cat out of the bag, which happens often with me. So I do think that this is worth the money if you are very interested in this kind of thing. I like the numbers. I like to really see the growth, and the validation of the things that I'm doing is getting me towards my goals. My goal really is to become metabolically healthy, and I will do a whole video on what does that mean, what metrics am I looking at, and where am I tracking with that. But I really only have like one, maybe two things that are off before I'm actually there. And so that's why weight loss and building muscle really is a focus, because that will get me metabolically healthy to hit those numbers that I need to hit to say I am part of the 7% of Americans that are actually metabolically healthy. But really, after that initial goal is met, then longevity is the next goal. And so this is where all of that comes in, is, you know, how are the things that I'm doing affecting my telomeres? How are the things that I'm doing affecting my immune system on the inside? How are the things affecting my biological age? So if you have questions about this, let me know in the comments below. If you have not already, check out the free Biohack This Mom resources guide that I have down in the description for you, and maybe I will even post some of these results as I get them in so we can kind of track them along the way. And go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel and to this video. Say hi in the comments. Let me know, have you done the True Diagnostic test? Is this something you're thinking about doing? What did you think of your results? What's your biological age? I'm super curious, and I would love to connect with you in the comments. Thanks, and have a great day.